So all there is what's happening. It's that simple. The person is endlessly trying to get somewhere. It's endlessly striving to be someone or something, and it doesn't care what it strives to be. It just wants to be. It just wants to exist as someone. It's like a mechanism that's running. And that someone makes it feel like consciousness and the I am, this sense of existence, belong inside the body, whereas actually there is no body. There is no one. There is only life happening. And there's nothing to get. And there's nothing to do. On the ultimate level, like all efforts are in a way seeking to improve the person, which is okay to an extent, but it never works out. You're never going to arrive as a person in what is. You're never going to release enough from your body or from your chakras or from your karma. You're never going to be able to do anything to get here, because you already are here. And it's absolutely impersonal, that shift. It's this collapse of this energy that's always trying to achieve something, to get somewhere. And if it doesn't chit-chat and talk about one problem, it will go on to the next problem. If it's not her, it's them, it's this, it's that. It's always going from one thing to another, to another, to another. this is it. This is all there is. So many teachers talk about the I am, and they say that first of all there's nothing, then there's consciousness, then there is this I am in which consciousness is conscious of, and that's the first thing that comes into existence on the human level. And that might be the case. I don't think we can really simplify it that much, but that's like a nice structure. But for me, I wouldn't say that the I am is separate from the consciousness. The sense of existence and the consciousness arise together. And there really isn't a consciousness of that I am. That consciousness is the I am. Just like there isn't really consciousness of things. So you could say the I am is all things. The brain really can't understand this. So if you're following this and you're like, this is really important, I understand it, you really can't understand it. There is nothing to understand. Who would understand? There is only what's happening, and it's an absolute mystery. And we don't know why things are working out. We don't know what is good or bad or right or wrong. We know it in terms of society, those thoughts come up, but even that is only our intellectual projection onto life. Really, on the ultimate level, it's a happening and it's an absolute mystery. And we don't know what good or bad is. We only know what's happening, our response to it right now. And our response might be like really screwed up karma or really screwed up behaviors, but it doesn't matter. Freedom isn't about behavior. Freedom isn't about what you do or don't do or how nice or not nice you are. The dog is free, the cat is free, the birds are free, and they don't have ethics. They don't care if they're in a good mood or a bad mood. Like now, if I wanted Khaleesi to be all affection with me, she'd be like, fuck off, she's asleep here. Like she'd be like, go away, Lisa, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. And it would be painful, and we would define her maybe as grumpy and me as crossing boundaries, but it doesn't matter. Liberation's got nothing to do with that. It settles down the person, and so the veil of you isn't so dense. But that's beside the point. Freedom, it's hopeless. Freedom isn't your doing. It's got nothing to do with you. You aren't the one that makes freedom. You aren't the one that does your life. Life is simply happening. It's appearing. And you can intellectualize this and you can make it for you. You can put it into your personhood and be like, I'm somebody that doesn't do. I don't do things. It doesn't really matter. None of it matters. It's all happening. Like the rain falling, like the wind blowing, like the ocean pulsing. You know, pulsing with its waves. And none of it's your doing. It's a happening. It's a happening. And there's only one way it's going to happen, and that's the way it happens. And it's nobody that does that. Nobody that does that. It's nobody's doing. Like right now, who is it that's breathing? Who is it that's looking? Who is it that's beating the heart or pumping the blood? It's a happening. And every story you tell yourself, everything you do is about feeling more or less pleasure and pain, or more pleasure and less pain. everything. Even listening to this talk, even sitting in the I am. There's a lot of practices that are about sitting in the I am, which is a healthy thing to do on the human level. It can create less neurosis and can make you more balanced, like keep moving your attention back to presence. That's what I see it as. But guess what? It's nothing to do with freedom. It doesn't matter if your mind is like or not. It's something that comes and goes. That which you are never comes and goes, is always here and always free, and belongs to no one. Isn't it easy? No one. Yeah, so there's no hope for you. But that's not meant as a depressive thing. That's not meant as something for you to hold on to and then you to tell yourself like there's no hope. On the human level, while you appear to be there, you can always bring yourself back to presence. And you can feel your feelings and see that they're not true and balance the person more. But there's no hope for you. Because you can't make this happen. You can't get there, because who would get there? There is only this. There is nobody. There's only what's happening. This is it. So you could say, what's the point talking about it? Like when I talk now, I think I spend a lot of the time with people trying to make their person better and more comfortable. And then I kind of slip in the non-duality around the sides, because you can't do anything to get to non-duality. Doing happens, but you can't do anything, because everything you do is based on this future outcome, and that you feel better in the future outcome, which is fine. That's the way we work. We move towards pleasure and we avoid pain. But this is talking about something that's right here, this shift back to what's right here. And so the mind thinks, what can I do with that? But just notice. And even that, the noticing is part of the mind. But just notice that the mind is always like, what can I do with that? How can I put that in a package, wrap it up and tie a bow on top? How can I get my package? And you can't ever get it. You can't arrive at that. Because who and how? What are you? Who are you? You can make things better for you, and even that isn't actually you doing it, it's something that's appearing. So there is the appearance of this person that's making things better for itself. Even that's a happening and not actually someone, but it feels like you, that you're doing that. But that's all happening in the realm and the world of you. Like right here, there is nothing happening. There's nobody that's ever sinned, there's nobody that's ever had life, there's no past, there's no future, there is only what is. All of that is mind-made. For Khaleesi, she doesn't have a past, she doesn't have a life, she doesn't have friends that used to live in Thailand, she's from Thailand. She doesn't, she just has what's happening now, and she's just responding to life. Just simply responding to life. And when she's at my mum's house, my mum feeds the birds and the squirrels. And when you have a street dog from Thailand, like Khaleesi, maybe not all street dogs from Thailand are like this, Khaleesi is always alert about everything. Even when she's sleeping, I can see her ears working like tuk, 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 to make sure there's no squirrel or bird in the garden. And so her morning times, which I think, well, it occupies her, are spent sitting by the window, making sure that the squirrel and the birds don't get any food. And if they do, she barks to go out. I let her out, then she chases them away, and then she barks to come in. And that's her morning routine. And she's absolutely ecstatic about that. And then she's also waiting for the post person to come as well, so she can bark at them, any deliveries, and she can guard the house. This is her routine at my mum's house. But she has no sense about that. Like when she's doing it, she can't think, oh, I've been doing this for 360 days. What is the point or the meaning of my existence? Why am I chasing these birds? What's going to happen to me in the future? Will I still get food? Will I still have enough money? Will I die alone on the streets, abandoned? Am I pissing Lisa off? If I piss Lisa off enough, will she stop loving me? No. Lisa can't do that. Her brain is like committed. Even though sometimes Khaleesi, the barking annoys me. I think it's more actually like I'm sitting, I like to sometimes just sit in the morning before I start doing anything quietly, not all the time. And sometimes I like to work on my computer. And then she barks at the door, so then I have to put the computer down and then let her out. And then she barks to come back in, and I have to get up and let her in. And like each time I get comfortable, and then she wants to do it again, like the squirrel comes back. That's more what pisses me off, easy, if I'm honest. It is a little bit annoying, but I understand that you have your routines, and I try to accommodate to you. And I also just don't feel like I can be constantly telling you off, because you do have quite challenging behavior, and that's maybe not the worst one. And I kind of like think it's good that you have a job to do. Defend the house against squirrels and birds. But for her, she can't think about any of these problems. It's only humans. And what we do is we get lost in that story, and we believe that's who we are, and we believe that it's really happened. Whereas nothing's ever happened. And I'm not saying that as an extreme thing, that nothing's ever happened. There's only what is. It's totally empty. Life is empty. It means nothing. It's only the human that's attached to it, and in that attachment it suffers so much. And it's not even the person that's doing it, like there's not even someone there that's doing it. It's just an experience that's happening where life is attaching. Being a fish. the thing is what happens in the person is that you set up your life on that. So like waking up becomes your new dream that the future will be better. Either the future will be the paradise that you're seeking for. And that's the lie. Yes. Okay, we go to questions now.